You know, when we are called into the ministry, it doesn't matter what sphere of the ministry into which you have been called. One thing is that it is the Lord Jesus Christ himself who decides our duty post. We do not decide our duty post by ourselves. He is the commander-in-chief, and he takes us to wherever he feels that we should be. I spent maybe the first 12, 13 years of my life in the village. And since I left my village to start training for the ministry many years ago, I only go back to my village occasionally. The last time I was there was last year December, when they were doing their harvest service. But you know, in my village till today, there is a pastor there. My father, my mother, and all our parents are no more. But the church remains there, and there is a pastor ministering to the needs of our siblings there in the village. If you will not call such a person a hero, what will you call him? To you, it may not be an hero because he doesn't preach over the television. He doesn't have a large crowd, not a big church, but yet he is a hero. That's why I said, as somebody said, if there are no heroes and heroines found among us today, it's not because we don't have them, but because of our inability as people of God to understand and to recognize who the real heroes are. Talking about Rhoda, you know, Rhoda was not an apostle. He was not an apostle. He didn't have a big church, not even a church at all. She didn't have a church. Not an apostle with large followers. She was just a simple Christian girl. I'm saying this because these days in the church, there are many people who have become so position and title conscious. And they think and they feel that if they're not recognized by the church authority, then they cannot do anything for the Lord. People look for recognition all over the place today. But this Bible character we're talking about today, Rhoda, was not an apostle with large followers, but a simple Christian girl. And it tells us today that we can be of service, we can do service and do great exploits for the Lord by being simple church members. I remember telling you here some times ago that these days nearly every Christian brother wants to become a reverend doctor, and every Christian sister wants to become a reverend nurse. So that's the time in which we live. Everybody looks for title, but title or no title, we should be ever ready to work for the Lord Jesus Christ. You know, sometimes we are fond of comparing ourselves with others. We like to compare and we like to contrast, but it doesn't have to be among us. You know, for example, if you look at the appointment of Matthias after Judas fell from his privileged position, the Bible tells us that the apostles gathered together, they saw the face of the Lord, and they cast lots, and the lot fell on Matthias. And but I have heard preachers on a number of occasions telling us that Matthias was not God's choice for Judas' replacement. According to them, God's choice for the replacement of Judas was Paul. And they said that because after Matthias was ordained, nothing was heard concerning him. But of Apostle Paul, so many things were heard concerning him. But if we translate or interpret the Bible that way, we are going to be discouraging many people who are on missionary field, who are working in obscure places and doing great exploits for the sake of the master. Now, although the name of Matthias may not have been heard after his ordination or his appointment, but he was not the only apostle whose name was never heard of after the ascension of our Lord Jesus Christ, apart from Peter, James, and John. The Bible does not tell us of the great exploits of Thomas, of Andrew, of Philip, of many others like that. And should we say that because their names were never heard of, should we say that